You know, those rare ideas that just, they don't seem to age. They feel just as relevant now as they did, like, decades ago. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into one of those. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Ah, yes. That one. It's more than just a book title, isn't it?
Totally. It's become this global phrase, translated everywhere, and it's really shaped how we think about, human interaction.
It really has. It hints at something fundamental about how people work, beyond just surface-level manners.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to unpack that legacy, dig into its maybe surprising origins, and really distill the core actionable stuff.
And initially, it was mainly about public speaking, helping business folks think on their feet, express themselves clearly.
But he pretty quickly saw something else was needed. A much deeper need, actually.
Yeah, he realized that while, sure, adults needed help with speaking effectively, they needed, and I'm quoting here, still more training in the fine art of getting along with people in everyday business and social contacts.
And what's really interesting is he admitted he needed that training too. He said he was sorely in need of it himself.
That's key, I think.
He wasn't just some academic looking down. He saw a universal problem, starting with himself.
And he wasn't just guessing, he had data. There were these investigations from the Carnegie Institute.
Personality and the ability to lead people.
85%. Wow. That just shows these aren't soft skills. They're critical skills.
Absolutely critical. They're the foundation for success, really. And it wasn't just him noticing. There was a survey done for an adult education course in Meriden, Connecticut. And after health, what was the number 2 thing adults were interested in?
Let me guess.
People. Exactly. It was people. How to understand and get along with people, how to make people like you, and how to win others to your way of thinking. People were hungry for this.
Okay, so Carnegie sees this huge need, but how does that become this book? It wasn't like he just sat down and wrote it, was it?
Not at all. He famously said this book wasn't written in the
Report back on what worked, what didn't. He essentially created, in his words, the first and only laboratory of human relationships for adults that had ever existed.
Wow, a real-world laboratory. That's fascinating.
It really is. People trying these ideas in their actual lives, providing feedback. That's how it developed. It started with just a few rules on a tiny card, like a postcard. And over 15 years of experiment and research, it grew into the book.
So because of that whole process,
That laboratory, he could say these principles weren't just theories.
Exactly. He said they work like magic. He wasn't just guessing. He'd seen the results.
He shared that story about the manager with what?
okay, so if you listening right now want to actually use this stuff, how did Carnegie suggest you approach it? He didn't want you to just read it passively, right?
Definitely not. He called it an action book. And he gave 9 suggestions on how to get the most out of this book. The first one is all about mindset. You need a deep, driving desire to learn. A real determination to get better at dealing with people.
How do you cultivate that desire, though?
He suggested really picturing how mastering these skills will make your life richer.
Happier. You got to internalize the why before you get to the how.
Makes sense. And then the reading itself, he had specific advice there too.
Oh, yeah. Read each chapter quickly first.
exactly. Because, as he put it, the rapidity with which we forget is astonishing.
So true. So review the book monthly.
That was his suggestion. Treat it like a working handbook. Apply the principles every day. Remind yourself you're trying to form new habits. Basically, a new way of life.
I love the suggestion about making it a game. That sounds fun and probably effective.
Right.
Offer your spouse or kid or colleague a dime or maybe $1 now every time they catch you slipping up on a principle.
Talk about immediate feedback. That keep you on your toes.
What?
Okay, let's dive into the principles themselves, starting with the fundamentals for handling people. This first one sounds so simple, but man, it can be tough. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it.
It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Why is avoiding it the best way? Well, think about what happens in an argument. The other person immediately goes on the defensive. They dig in, try to justify themselves.
Yeah, you wound their pride, their sense of importance. It just breeds resentment.
Exactly. Think about B.F. Skinner's work.
Animals learn faster with rewards for good behavior than punishment for bad. Same idea.
Yeah.
Or Hans Selye saying, as much as we thirst for approval, we dread condemnation.
They all blamed everybody but themselves. It shows how deep that need for self-justification runs. Winning an argument against that is almost impossible.
It's not just criminals either. History's full of it. A big fight between Teddy Roosevelt and President Taft.
Oh yeah, that split the Republican Party and basically handed the election to Wilson.
Oh yeah.
But even after all that, Taft apparently said tearfully, I don't see how I could have done any differently. The criticism just solidified his position.
Lincoln learned this lesson early on, didn't he? That
Incident with the duel.
Right. After writing that anonymous letter mocking James Shields in 1842, nearly got him killed. After that, Carnegie says, Lincoln basically stopped criticizing.
Instead of ordering people to wear hard hats or criticizing them, he just politely suggested the hats were designed to protect them. Appealed to their self-interest, not his authority. Got much better results.
So the bottom line is, criticizing is easy. Any fool can do it, as Carnegie says.
And most fools do. But understanding, forgiving, that takes character. Self-control.
Like Benjamin Franklin, apparently he was pretty tactless when he was young.
Right. But he learned. Became this amazing diplomat, partly by deciding, I will speak
ill of no man and speak all the good I know of everybody. It's a conscious choice.
Choosing understanding over being right. Okay, that leads really nicely into the next fundamental.
Exactly, it's fundamental. Carnegie mentioned his own father, beaming with pride over blue ribbons. His hogs wanted the fair.
The hogs didn't care, obviously.
Of course not. But he did. It gave him that feeling of importance. You see it everywhere. Rockefeller building a hospital in China, Dillinger wanting to be public enemy #1. Different paths, same underlying craving.
Even George Washington wanting to be called his mightiness is universal.
It really is. And it can manifest in extreme ways, too. Carnegie mentioned a woman who
basically became an invalid for 10 years just to feel important to her mother. Some experts even thought people could literally go insane trying to find that feeling of importance they couldn't get.
He said, there is nothing else that so kills the ambitions of a person as criticisms from superiors. I never criticize anyone. person. Instead, I believe in giving a person incentive to work. So I am anxious to praise, but loath to find fault. If I like anything, I am hearty in my approbation and lavish in my praise.
Wow. Anxious to praise, loath to find fault. That's the opposite of how many people are.
Exactly. Average person, if they don't like something, they complain. If they do like it, they often say nothing. Honest appreciation,
Carnegie says, is one of the most neglected virtues of our daily existence.
But the impact can be huge. Like Ziegfeld glorifying the American girl, making them feel beautiful.
absolutely crucial distinction. Flattery is shallow, telling the other person precisely what he thinks about himself, as Carnegie put it. Cheap praise. Emerson said, use what language you will. You can never say anything but what you are. Sincerity comes through.
So how do you make it sincere?
By genuinely thinking of the other person's good points. Finding something you honestly admire or value. Like Pamela Dunham with the janitor who wasn't doing a great job.
Criticism failed. But when she started sincerely praising the occasional good work he did, his whole performance turned around.
Honest appreciation got results where criticism and ridicule failed.
Other people.
This is one of those simple but powerful, maybe counterintuitive ideas. Carnegie put it so clearly. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you.
It flips the focus completely, doesn't it? From yourself to them.
Totally. He said his dog, Tivy, knew this instinctively. Dogs are just genuinely happy to see you.
Huh. True. And you see this work across different fields. Like Howard Thurston, the magician.
Yeah, the dean of magicians. He always told himself before going on stage, I am grateful because these people come to see me. He focused on them.
Theodore Roosevelt was apparently amazing at this.
A master.
Exactly. And it works in business too. That Johnson & Johnson salesman, Sykes, he kept the customers for years, partly because he always made a point to chat with the soda clerk and the sales clerk before talking to the owner. He connected with everyone.
Carnegie himself used this to get access to really busy, important people for his courses, right? Authors, politicians.
Yes, people like Kathleen Norris, Fannie Hurst, even FDR. How did he get them? Not by talking about himself, but by showing a genuine interest in them, their work.
Asking for their advice, making it about them.
Even small things matter, like phone operators being told to smile when they talk.
Because it comes through in your voice. That warmth, that interest, or
Company president by bringing stamps for the president's young son. Tapping into that personal interest.
It can be truly profound. Martin Ginsburg's story about the nurse on Thanksgiving.
Right, he was a kid alone in the hospital facing surgery.
And this nurse, whose shift was over, stayed for hours playing games, talking with him, just showing genuine care. He said it impacted his whole life. That level of interest matters.
Okay, so principle 3. Genuine interest. That one was right into principle 4. Talk in terms of the other person's interests.
This is where Carnegie's fishing analogy comes in. It's perfect.
Remind us of that one.
he said, personally, I am very fond of strawberries and cream, but I have found that for some strange reason, fish prefer worms. So when I went fishing, I didn't...
Carnegie says just talking about what we want is childish because nobody else cares. It's about shifting perspective.
So instead of telling your kid, don't smoke, you talk about how it might stop them making the basketball team.
Right. You connect it to their goals, their desires, or that story about Emerson trying to get the calf in the barn.
He and his son pushed and pulled and failed miserably.
But the housemaid, she just thought, what does the calf want? Put her finger in its mouth?
Like it was nursing, and gently let it in. She spoke the calf's language, basically.
This worked for Carnegie in negotiations too, right? With the hotel ballroom?
Yeah, they wanted to triple his rent.
Oh yeah, letters that just whine about the senator's problems. He contrasted that with Barbara Anderson's job application. She didn't talk about what she wanted. She focused on how her skills could help the banks she applied to.
And she got interviews at almost all of them.
11 out of 12.
Yeah.
Because she spoke their language, addressed their needs.
But again, it's not about tricking people.
No, Carnegie stresses that. It's about finding the win-win. Arousing in him an eager want shouldn't be manipulative. Both parties should benefit.
Like Mrs. Anderson getting the job and the bank getting a great employee. Mutual gain.
Okay, next up, Principle 5. Begin in a friendly way. Seems obvious.
Yep. A drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. If you want to win someone over, first convince them you're their friend. Set that friendly tone.
That Rockefeller story with the striking miners is incredible. They wanted to hang him.
Literally. It was a super volatile situation in Colorado. But he goes there, starts his speech with things like, I am proud to be here, not as strangers, but as friends. Just radiating goodwill.
And it worked.
Completely diffused the situation. They went back to work without making more demands.
The friendly approach transformed hostility.
It works in everyday life too, like the guy needing his rent lowered.
Edward Straub. Instead of complaining, he approached the
Okay, moving into strategy now. How to actually win people to your way of thinking. This gets interesting. Principle 6. Get the other person saying yes, yes, immediately.
The Socratic method, basically. Socrates was brilliant at this, leading people to conclusions through questions they had to agree with.
Why is getting those early yeses so important?
Professor Overstreet explained it well. A no response is a huge psychological barrier. Your pride kicks in, you feel you have to stick to that no.
Their whole body, glands, nerves, muscles, goes into this state of rejection or withdrawal. It's hard to reverse.
So saying no literally makes you less.
Step by step to saying yes to the motors. Landed a big order.
It's that old Chinese proverb again. He who treads softly goes far. Gentle agreement building. Okay, principle 7 feels related but different. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking.
This is where many people trying to persuade go wrong, right?
Yeah.
They think they need to do all the talking, deliver the perfect pitch.
As Carnegie says.
Let the other person talk themselves out.
Yeah.
Ask them questions. Listen. They know their own situation, their own problems better than you do.
It requires you to actually shut up and listen.
Which can be hard, but it can have amazing results. Remember the story of the sales rep who lost his voice?
GBR, right. Had laryngitis during a huge sales meeting.
Yeah, couldn't talk.
Sometimes the best way to persuade is just to listen. It works in personal relationships too. Millie Esposito and her daughter Lori. She realized she was always telling Lori what to do, never really listening. When she shifted to just letting Lori talk, their whole relationship improved.
Even in job interviews. That guy, Cute Ellis.
Right. Impress the interviewer not by talking about himself, but by researching the interviewer's achievements and getting him to talk about them. Made the interviewer feel great.
And Roy Bradley, hiring Richard Pryor.
He let Pryor talk through all his own objections to the job.
Exactly. By voicing his doubts and having them heard, Pryor kind of resolved them himself and took the job. Listening
taps into something deep. We all trust our own discoveries more than ideas just handed to us, don't we?
Absolutely. If I think I came up with it, I'm way more invested.
Precisely. So instead of forcing your idea, it's often smarter to just make suggestions, plant seeds, and let the other person connect the dots and feel like they've reached a conclusion.
How does this work in practice, like in sales?
Adolf Seltz, the sales manager. His team was down. He didn't give them a pep talk. He asked them what they expected from him, wrote down their ideas. They came up with a plan
themselves and committed to it.
Or Eugene Wesson, selling sketches. Failed constantly until
he started letting the buyer, the stylist, make suggestions, modify the sketch.
He ended up enthusiastically advocating for their machine. He sold himself because he felt the improvements were his ideas.
Even in politics. I don't know how it's advising President Wilson.
Yeah, House would plant ideas, and Wilson would later bring them up as his own. House didn't care about credit, just the outcome. Let Wilson own the idea.
It's about ego management, really. Letting go of needing the credit.
It is. Like Carnegie getting that list of satisfied customers from the camp director, he let Carnegie sell myself.
It echoes Lao-Tzu. The reason rivers receive the homage of streams is that they keep below them. Humility lets others rise.
Which brings us smoothly to Principle 9.
The simple test is just asking yourself,
how would I feel? How would I react if I were in his shoes? Just that mental shift saves so much frustration and builds connection. Kenneth Good called it the solid foundation for dealing with people.
Carnegie used this with those boys starting fires in the park, right?
Yeah, his first instinct might have been to yell or threaten. But instead, he tried to see their perspective. He approached them friendly, talked about how he loved fires as a kid too, but explained the danger here, appealed to their sense of responsibility for the park.
And they cooperated.
Willingly. Because he met them where they were, understood their viewpoint first.
Okay, building right on that empathy is Principle 10. Be sympathetic with the other person.
Used this when he messed up the Louisa May Alcott fact.
Yeah, got angry letters. He called one very indignant woman and just kept apologizing, saying he understood why she was upset, that he'd feel the same way, and her anger just melted. She ended up apologizing to him. Sympathy turned it around.
President Taft used it too, with that pushy mother wanting to talk to her son.
Instead of dismissing her, he wrote the sympathetic letter, acknowledging her maternal pride, but explaining why he couldn't grant the request. It completely changed her attitude. She apologized.
Even worked with practical problems, like the elevator guy needing to
Shut down an escalator.
Jay Mangum. The hotel manager only wanted a 2-hour shutdown. Mangum needed 8. He started by expressing sympathy for the manager's concern.
sympathy Dr. Gates mentioned. We all want our feelings, our hurts, our desires acknowledged.
We really do. It's fundamental.
All right, principle 11. Appeal to the nobler motives. What's the thinking here?
The core idea is that most people, deep down, want to see themselves as good, fair, honest, unselfish. They have a high regard for themselves.
So you appeal to that better self.
Exactly. J. Morgan supposedly said people
People usually have two reasons for doing things. The real reason and the one that sounds good. You appeal to the one that sounds good, the nobler one.
Like the landlord, Mr. Doe, wanting to break.
into her desire to do good.
This even worked for collecting debts. James L. Thomas, the credit manager.
Yeah, dealing with uncollectible car accounts. He didn't threaten, he listened sympathetically, then appealed to their sense of fair play. He basically said, I believe you're honest and want to pay, let's figure this out. Assume the best.
And it worked.
Not only collected the money, but often sold them new cars. Because he treated them as honorable people.
Okay, last one in this section, Principle 12. Dramatize your ideas. Make them pop.
Exactly. In a world full of noise, just stating facts
Often isn't enough. The truth has to be made vivid, interesting, dramatic. You got to capture attention.
Like Jim Yeamans from NCR throwing money on the floor.
Carnegie sending that fan letter.
Yeah, to a busy executive. Made it super easy, intriguing, dramatic in its simplicity. Stood out.
Charles Schwab used drama to boost the steel production too, with the chalk marks.
Classic. Didn't lecture the night shift, just shocked the day shift's production number 6 on the floor. That simple, dramatic challenge spurred competition. The night shift hit 7, the day shift responded with 10. Production soared.
So often it involves a challenge, throwing down the gauntlet.
Very often, like challenging Teddy Roosevelt's courage or
Challenging the warden to take the tough job at Sing Sing. As Herzberg and Firestone noted, often it's the work itself, the game, the desire to excel that's the real motivator. Drama.
we have heard some praise of our good points. Praise first makes criticism less painful, more acceptable.
We saw presidents doing this. Coolidge's subtle grammar correction.
Or McKinley calling a speech splendid before gently saying it wasn't quite right for the occasion. Softens the blow.
Lincoln's letter to General Hooker is the gold standard here, isn't it?
Absolutely. Starts with high praise. Brave and skillful soldier acknowledges his confidence, then gently raises the points of concern. Builds him up first.
Works in business too. Getting the subcontractor back on track by praising his factory first.
Or Dorothy Wroblewski.
Helping the new teller. Praise her customer skills and accuracy before suggesting they review the balancing procedure. Positive reinforcement first.
Okay, principle 2. Call attention.
Bring the customer himself.
Silent, indirect correction. They got the message without being called out.
The but versus and trick is crucial here too.
Oh yeah. Saying, you did great, but negates the praise, makes it feel insincere.
Instead use and. You did great, and if you keep that up.
Exactly. We're proud of you for raising your grades, and by continuing those efforts, your algebra can come up too. Maintains the positive momentum.
It's about gentle suggestion, like Marge Jacob getting the construction crew to clean up by praising the job first, then mentioning keeping the neighbors happy.
Or Sergeant Kaiser getting reserved.
Service to get haircuts by saying their current hair was fine, but encouraging them to be a good example. Indirect influence.
Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes.
Ask the questions instead of giving direct orders.
Owen D. Young, the famous executive, apparently never gave direct orders.
Really? What did he do instead?
He'd say things like, "You might consider this," or "Do you think that would work?" Questions, not commands.
Why is that more effective?
It makes the suggestion more palatable. It also stimulates their creativity, makes them feel part of the decision. They're not just being told what to do.
Like asking whose car is blocking the driveway instead of yelling, "Move your car!"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Leads them to the solution through questions. Ian MacDonald got his team to
Meet an urgent deadline by asking them, is there anything we can do? Can anyone think of ways? They took ownership.
Principle 5. Let the other person...
never. Think of GE needing to move Charles Steinmetz out of a management role he wasn't suited for. They didn't fire him or demote him publicly. They created a new prestigious title for him, consulting engineer. Saved his face, kept his genius.
That accounting executive, Mr. Thomas, learning how to let go of seasonal staff.
Instead of just firing them, he learned to do it with praise, acknowledging their skills, making them feel good about their time there, maintained goodwill.
And Anna's own avoiding humiliation.
by admitting her own mistake before the big meeting.
Right. By owning her blunder up front, she controlled the narrative, saved face, and could focus on fixing it.
Principle 6. Praise the slightest improvement.
Huge turning point. Gave him the confidence to become a great writer. Same with H.G. Wells. Ready to give up, but schoolmaster's praise turned him around.
Works in families too. John Ringles finding that praising small improvements worked way better than yelling.
Dramatically improved his kid's behavior. And Keith Roper turning a negative employee into a loyal one just by specifically praising one good job he did.
Specificity is key for sincerity, right? Not just vague flattery.
Absolutely. That was a really well-organized report.
Means more than just good job.
Yeah.
People know when praise is genuine.
Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Set high expectations positive.
Appeal to his past reputation, assume the best of him, and build snap back into form. Or Georgette LeBlanc transforming Marie the dishwasher by giving her this grand reputation as a tabernacle of unseen marvels. Marie started acting the part.
Bill Parker used it in sales, telling the store manager he had a reputation as the best and smartest merchandiser.
Flattered him, yes, but also gave him a standard to live up to. Helped close the deal.
And Mrs. Hopkins, the teacher, turning Tommy, the troublemaker,
Around.
By telling him, Tommy, I understand you are a natural leader. I'm going to depend on you. Gave him a positive role, a reputation to fulfill, and he did.
Principle 8.
Right. First teacher, you're all wrong. Forget everything. Totally disheartening. Second teacher, you have a natural sense of rhythm. Maybe untrue, Carnegie admits, but it made him want to practice, inspired him, built his confidence.
Lowell Thomas was apparently a master at giving people confidence.
Now think of Wallace Clark, the boy labeled brain injured. A teacher saw an undeveloped flair for drawing, encouraged him in math. He ended up winning science fairs. Believing in potential unlocks it.
Okay,
Final leadership principle, number 9. Make people happy about doing the thing you suggest. Get genuine buy-in.
This is the ultimate aim, isn't it? Not just getting compliance, but getting people to want to do it.
job, he stressed how vital McAdoo's contribution would be to the nation, made the role seem incredibly meaningful and appealing.
Gunter Schmidt dealing with the sloppy price tagger.
Didn't punish him, gave him responsibility, made him the supervisor of price tag posting, challenged him to ensure accuracy, turned a dull task into a position of importance.
Napoleon knew this, right? Men are ruled by toys, titles, honors.
Exactly. He understood recognition motivates.
Mrs. Gent used this in her club, giving members fancy titles for simple jobs, making them happy and eager to do them.
So it often comes down to showing the benefit to the other person.
Often, yes.
Not at all. The common thread through all these principles seems to be a profound, sincere focus on the other person, understanding their perspective, appreciating them, making them feel important, addressing their interests. It's fundamentally about empathy and respect.
Carnegie really did frame it as a new way of life, didn't he? Shifting from self-focus to other focus.
He did, and it makes me think of that William James quote again. Compared with what we ought to be, we are only half awake, making use of only a small part
Of our resources. Carnegie's book feels like a guide to waking up more of that potential.
Both in ourselves and how we connect with others. That's a powerful thought.
Especially today, maybe.
So the provocative thought for you listening might be, imagine the hidden treasures, as Carnegie might say, you could unlock in others and in yourself just by consistently practicing these ideas, making people feel genuinely seen, heard, and valued.
How much richer could your interactions, your relationships, your overall impact be?
We definitely encourage you to try these principles out, observe what happens, see for yourself if they really do work like magic in your own life. It'd be a fascinating